A small package is quietly making its way out of a nondescript warehouse in China. To the untrained eye, it looks completely ordinary, measuring about 15 by 20 centimeters and weighing just a single kilogram. The shipping label claims it contains something harmless, like dog food. But inside that box lies a deadly white powder, a chemical precursor for one of the most dangerous synthetic drugs in the world, fentanyl. This tiny package holds enough raw material to manufacture tens of thousands of lethal doses. And the crazy thing, it's traveling across the globe using the same logistics infrastructure we all use to order shoes, phone chargers, or cosmetics online. It's part of an incredibly vast and well-oiled network, one that's legal in appearance, yet fundamentally lethal in consequence. This is how fentanyl trafficking operates, seamlessly embedded within the machinery of global trade. Fentanyl isn't new. First developed in the 1960s, it's long been used in hospitals as a powerful painkiller and anesthetic. In its regulated pharmaceutical form, it's tightly controlled and administered under careful supervision. But its potency, roughly 50 times. Stronger than heroin and up to 100 times. Stronger than morphine also, makes it highly addictive and deadly when used illicitly. In recent years, fentanyl has become the leading cause of death for American adults under the age of 50, surpassing car accidents, cancer, and heart disease. In 2023 alone, around 75,000 Americans lost their lives to fentanyl overdoses. Since 1999, the broader synthetic opioid crisis has claimed nearly 500,000 lives in the U.S. One of the primary dangers lies in how it's used. Drug dealers often lace fentanyl into other substances like heroin, cocaine, or fake prescription pills to stretch their product and increase profits. Just a few milligrams less than a grain of salt can be fatal. Users often don't even know they're taking fentanyl until it's too late. Unlike heroin, which requires vast fields of poppy cultivation, fentanyl is synthetic. That means it can be manufactured in a lab cheaply, quickly, and in large quantities. No need for farmers, harvesting, or months-long growing cycles. Just chemical precursors, a few basic tools, and someone who knows the recipe. That's why Mexican cartels have increasingly pivoted away from heroin production and toward fentanyl. It's more efficient, more profitable, and much easier to hide. At first glance, Chinese shipping facilities are just bustling hubs of global commerce. Millions of packages leave the country every day, bound for destinations all over the world. Most are perfectly legal chargers, clothing, food products. But scattered among these are carefully disguised shipments of fentanyl precursors, chemicals essential to making the drug. These small packages are bundled into master cartons, a standard technique in shipping to reduce cost and simplify logistics. Master cartons are stacked on pallets, mixed in with other goods, and then loaded onto planes. From there, they fly across the Pacific and land in major U.S. airports, like LAX. Once in the United States, these packages benefit from a 1930s Euro regulation known as the de minimis rule. Essentially, if an international shipment is addressed to an individual and is valued below a certain threshold, it bypasses customs inspections. No taxes, minimal scrutiny. The U.S. currently has one of the most generous de minimis limits in the world, $800. In contrast, in 2016, the U.S. raised the limit from $200 to $800. Since then, the number of packages entering under this exemption has skyrocketed from about 134 million annually to nearly 1.44 billion in 2024. For traffickers, it's the perfect loophole. At facilities like LAX, inspecting every package is practically impossible. Customs officers rely on spot checks and drug-sniffing dogs. They may flag packages if the declared weight doesn't match what's inside. In rare cases, they'll do chemical tests or track suspicious shipments. But the sheer volume of shipments makes comprehensive enforcement unfeasible. So our package, along with thousands of others like it, usually sails through unexamined. Once cleared, the fentanyl precursor continues its journey. It's picked up by domestic carriers, regular shipping firms like FedEx or UPS, and driven to an address near the US-Mexico border. Here, an elderly man, completely unaware of the package's contents, is part of the next link. In border towns, it's common for people to offer personal cross-border delivery services as a side hustle. He accepts packages from customers in Mexico and drives them across in his personal vehicle. Customs officers rarely inspect small boxes in private cars. To them, he looks harmless. And so, without knowing it, he's smuggling fentanyl ingredients. Once across the border, the package heads to Sinaloa, a stronghold of the infamous Sinaloa cartel. It's here in nondescript homes, garages, or remote labs that the real transformation begins. Teenagers, often with no formal training, follow step-by-step tutorials to cook fentanyl. They open the package, mix the ingredients, and press the results into pills. It's dangerously simple. Making fentanyl is almost like baking a cake. From just 1 kilogram of precursor powder, the cartel can produce up to 50,000 doses of fentanyl. Once the drug is made, it heads north back into the United States. It can be smuggled in countless ways, hidden in clothing or food packaging, implanted in pets. Carried inside the human body by drug mules, disguised among legitimate cargo often. American citizens are used to transport the drugs in their personal vehicles. They use hidden compartments, secret traps in their cars, or other clever methods. Customs officers may inspect a few vehicles, but again, the volume is overwhelming. Smugglers bet on luck and distraction. One moment of dementia, dog takes a break. A guard is distracted and, just like that, another shipment of fentanyl crosses the border undetected. In 2024, nearly 10 tons of fentanyl were seized at the US-Mexico border. But that's likely just the tip of the iceberg. Experts believe much more slips through. The crisis has become so severe that it's now a geopolitical flashpoint. The US accuses China of intentionally enabling the crisis by turning a blind eye to precursor exports. China denies responsibility, claiming it cracked down years ago and that the problem lies in America's own demand. President Trump, in 2025, signed an executive order eliminating de minimis exemptions for shipments from China and Hong Kong. It was part of a broader crackdown on the drug crisis. But critics argue it's too little too late. And the issue isn't limited to North America anymore. Fentanyl has now reached Europe, showing up in street heroin across cities in Germany and beyond. Traffickers are expanding. Users unaware are overdosing. Treatment is difficult. Quitting fentanyl without medical help is almost impossible. The logistics of fentanyl trafficking are a dark mirror of global capitalism. Efficient, fast, scalable, and largely unregulated. Package no bigger than a shoebox can kill thousands. And yet it travels from China to a lab in Mexico, and back into American cities using the same shipping and delivery networks we rely on every day. Until the systems that enable this trade legal loopholes, overwhelmed borders, and corporate blind spots are addressed, the crisis will only deepen. If you found this video insightful, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more deep dives into the systems shaping our world. Thanks for watching.